Well, it was only a matter of time, and it is here. Manor Lords has had a release date. So, let's check out that trailer.
You have been chosen to govern a land of great peril and promise. It has suffered long from the scourge of banditry, but there is another threat, an illegitimate baron who claims the northern territories as his own. Will you prove yourself worthy of this honor, or will you perish by the traitor's steel?
Does it get much more exciting than this? No, I don't think it does. But let's take a little bit of a breakdown of the new trailer and some extra information that I have been sent by Hooded Horse, the publishers themselves. We start off with a look at burning buildings. Now, this was something that we saw very early on in development being released. There is a factor of being raided by other nations or clans and them coming into your towns to try and take you out. This will hurt your economy and of course it will destroy the homes of your people. They will then start to leave because they've got nowhere to live. This is primarily a city builder, however, but that is not the only factor. We move on to a look at some of the battles. Now, in the midst of a kind of total war descent, with everybody moving away from that franchise, this couldn't be better timing for Manor Lords to release a trailer. I mean, these battles look absolutely gorgeous. I just hope that there is some sort of custom battle mode that we can get in, play just the RTS versions of Manor Lords as well as the full city building. You've got banners and flags to signify units. All these units can be commanded individually, with waypoint systems, retreating, moving backwards and forwards. AI will use terrain to their advantage and hiding in forest from arrows or using volley fire with their own bowmen. We also get a little look at some of the dynamic weather. Yes, you can fight a battle in this day, or you can fight in lightning. Sure, whatever takes your fancy. With bodies littering the battlefield, arrows stuck in corpses, we then move on to some of the city building. Now, it actually looks like it's been refined quite a bit from what we saw in the gameplay demo that we played last year. For example, at about 30 seconds, we get a look at some of the road building again. This was such a big factor within the demo and something that people really liked, and it seems like it's been refined quite nicely. Everything seems a little bit more thin, it seems a bit more dynamic. You can see the transition between the road and the grassy edges is kind of a bit more rustic now. It looks absolutely gorgeous. Graphically, the texture in the ground looks like it has been enhanced just that little bit more to make it somewhat more immersive, if that was even possible. Then moving on, we get our various chores of hunting, chopping wood, getting stuff from the wells, and of course an advancement on the building. This seems to have a base of what we saw before, with planting these grids down and it assigning the amount of houses or amount of plots that you can have within that grid. However, we can see that you can add an extension if needed. As I mentioned before, you can add in farms or plots or chicken coops if you have a big enough plot as well. This is all stuff that is dynamically within the UI. Some of the best UI that I've seen within the game. Not only this, but at around 50 seconds we get a look at a color-coded system to what resources are in the buildings, whether they're full up and stocked with all their supplies, hovering over their food variety and fuel to see what they need more of, or if they go to amber, it, I'm assuming, means that they're starting to run low. Red meaning they're close to an approximation of death, which, you know, could be disadvantageous for a lot of your lads. But then we get into something that we've never seen before. And this is the new development system. It was something that was mentioned and shown off in some of the early trailers, but we never got it in the demo. I'm assuming just because it wasn't quite finished yet. But you can earn development points through your work as a town manor lord. Whether you're bringing people in, building, upgrading stuff, getting a certain amount of population, and you can use these in different policies. From what we can see so far, level 1 policies are giving back 10% of the surplus food to the church and converts it into influence. I'd assume it's very similar things to that, whether you want to focus on religion, food, economy, so on and so forth, but they'll all somewhat tie in with each other. You have your 3 tabs of development, policies, and production. If we now go to the development tag, we can see some of the stuff that we can get our hands on. At the bottom, it looks like more blacksmithing, whether you're making armor or refining ores. On the right, it's a bit more of the economy, trading, so on and so forth. And I'm assuming later, trading between different towns and cities. Then on the left, we have agriculture, whether it's hunting, beekeeping, chopping down wood, so on and so forth, gathering berries. And at the top, the fertilization of the land, whether it's ploughing, tilling, having livestock, that kind of thing. These can all be developed through this massive tree that will increase the prosperity of your towns and hopefully at least make them into cities at some point, I'd assume. It all seems like they're heading towards this longevity of the game. You see, Manor Lords and its demo was a fantastic showcase of the amount of detail that's been put into it, where you can spend hours just watching your guys wandering around these beautiful roads, these incredibly intricately designed houses, whether they're hunting or trading, but there wasn't any of this development system, and there wasn't any of stuff that we're getting in now, whether it's customization of the armies, whether it's choosing your vanguard or what troops that you train. At 1:15 in this trailer, we get a look at some people that are raiding this village, which, yes, bandit raids will be a part of it, and they end up burning it down. Your villagers can defend if you don't have any militia. One thing that we didn't get within the demo is a look at some of the diplomacy, and a visual on this shows that we can claim parts of regions. We can then start to move into them, and of course they might be disputed, whether we want to solve that through diplomacy, talking to the king, or going in on our own with our armies. And our first look at sort of the wide angle view of armies and units working together in force shows they have put so much effort into it. And whilst this is not the main focus of Manor Lords, I think this is going to rival what we wanted for Total War. Because we didn't get a Medieval 3, and it's looking like Creative Assembly are in a bit of a mess at the moment. If Manor Lords can really refine this and take it to that next level, it's never going to be on the same scale as Total War. They're trying to keep it somewhat realistic to how it would be at the time, but hey, they're doing a fantastic job. And I've got a full video breaking down some of the new mocap and animation styles that we've seen, and some more combat footage coming later this week. So make sure you check around for that. But then we finalise on the 26th of April 2024. It is coming to Game Pass, Good Old Games, Steam, and what's more, something that I didn't expect, it is coming to Xbox. Yes, so you can actually play this on consoles, which I'm sure there'll be plenty of people that are happy to hear about. And after a long wait, I think it finally is time. I actually have been working on a video of Manor Lords for a week or so now, and in that video I talk about there not being a release date, saying that it might be a kind of game that just goes on forever because there's so much detail that has to be added. Yet just before I went to upload it, I was proved wrong, and I'm so thankful I was, because Manor Lords is finally coming.